Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of Attract Mode presented by Lady Arcaders. I am your host for the evening. I go by LinearC, Linear Canon 17, or just plain old Linear. Hi there works too, so don't be shy. I'm so excited to be hosting for this wonderful community for the first time. And wow, do we have an exciting session for you tonight. But for all you those inquiring minds that are joining us for the first time, or it's been a while because, life can get really busy, what is attract mode, you may ask? Well, you're in luck because I'm prepared to tell you all about it. Lady Arcaders runs small events throughout the year as part of a series called Attract Mode. Tune in every Thursday night at 9 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern to catch awesome ladies showing off awesome games. Do you have a showcase you'd like to show off to the world? Then submit your idea to Attract Mode. You're welcome to submit any type of showcase, as long as it's game related, of course. Want to go fast? Want to show off your Animal Crossing town? Want to bake a video game related pie? Then visit ladyarcaders.com for more details. But enough about Attract Mode. Let's discuss the reason we're here tonight. I can't wait to introduce you to our performer for tonight. I hope you're as excited as I am for Bun, as she presents to us Blaz. We have Guilty Gear at Home Blue, and Unhinged Rant. Here's what's in store for us tonight. Fighting games are for everyone. Some like 3D multi-ring environment destroyers, others like 2D animated full-screen effects. Maybe you like to grapple, zone, or just mash. I'm guilty of that myself. No pun intended. In fact, probably the least accessible part about fighting games is lore. So in this dive, Professor Bun is here to help us smash through a fighting game with some of the wildest lore known to break even the strongest story-loving souls with an iron fist. So get cozy, keep hydrated, because we are in for some fun. So without further ado, here is Professor Bun. We're ready for you when you are.
Good morning, afternoon, class. Welcome. I made it. We're good. And, of course, I bought you all pizza again. I could never forget about you. I would never forget about you. I would never forget about my lovely class. Do not get that in your head. Welcome, everyone. Oh. Not drunk enough for this, but welcome. We're here. We made it, and we're gonna talk about BlazBlue. We're gonna talk about BlazBlue. Oh no, I didn't start the music. We're gonna talk about BlazBlue. Woo! All right. How is my lovely class doing today?
I'm here.
I am also here.
Wow, that's so relatable.
I am student 1, Critique Quartz.
I'm student 2, Valeria Asteria.
Yeah. We made it. Ah. Sorry, it's been a long day today. I've been moving. I barely got myself prepared enough for this. There are at least 7 bags you can't see off screen right now, I assure you. But we're here now, and we're ready to talk about BlazBlue, or at least some of it. I'm not getting through BlazBlue in 3 hours. No one could. So, we're gonna take it nice and easy, and I'll be able to try and explain things on the glorious blackboard once again. So, my students, what is our fighting game experience? Have we played BlazBlue before?
I have not played BlazBlue, but I've played Guilty Gear and I've played Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom. A lot of fighting games, actually.
Nice, very based.
And I have played BlazBlue. In fact, I got pretty deep into Calamity Trigger when that was first came out, like a decade and a half ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got really into the lore. I was maining Lychee and Tager, and then all of it erased from my memory. I don't remember anything about it now.
You hate to see it. We will be talking about Calamity Trigger. Don't worry. In fact, that's probably going to be a lot of today. There's all a preamble and Calamity Trigger. because it's a big nightmare where I have to explain a lot of the made-up nouns, which is going to be the bulk of this. The pizza's good, by the way. You guys can grab some if you want. I don't want to eat all of this.
Wait, Professor, did you install the food drive so you can send us pizzaslice.yum?
Yes, I did.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm finally gonna get some of this pizza.
Now
I'm
it is
so lost already.
Now it is Little Caesars, because I needed to, because I really care about you all. So I hope you don't mind that.
It's hot and ready.
Pizza's pizza.
Yeah, it's hot and ready. I could feel it being hot on my finger. Can't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad. With that out of the way, I imagine we should probably get started somewhere. And the best place to start is right way at the beginning. So, we gotta get some terms out of the way first. First of all, we start with our master unit. Now, what's a master unit? It's basically God. It's God machine. It's the machine that is God. And where's the master unit? In the boundary. What's the boundary? The boundary is the place between places. It's like a big, interdimensional portal. But it's also like a place that exists, and you can go to it. What does the boundary consist of? Seether. Are you tired of the made-up nouns yet?
The band either?
There's quite literally Deus Ex Machina in this.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely not the backyard.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
not the back. It's not the backyard. It's not the backyard. It's blue.
That's fair.
And don't worry. We do know everyone's names, so I won't be going off about strange men. But yes, Seether. What is Seether? It's basically like, I want to say magic. This is a magic world, by the way. If you couldn't tell by the way the fighting game looks, this is a world that has magic in it. And Seether is basically like, it's basically like magical. Ooh. Sorry, something came from the depth. But it's basically magical, I guess, radiation, basically. It's like all the after effects of magic, and you can use it to do magic things. And where does it all come from? Why, the center of the boundary, the Azure, which is essentially the strongest concentration of Seether known to the universe. It's this big blue ball out in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, I think it's somewhere below the master unit. I'm pretty sure. So we've got our setting. We're here. We've got Machine God, who controls the Azure, which emits all the Seether and creates the boundary. Why did the music stop? Yes, I do want to continue watching YouTube. Okay. But yes. I'm not drawing the master unit, by the way. No one can make me draw the master unit. I have no idea how anyone would. So, we've got all that set up. So what does God use to sort of create the world? Well, there's 3 things that it uses. If I am correct, they're called Amaterasu units. This is gonna get really bad really fast. I'm sorry. If you're already lost, I have such bad news for you.
I mean, that's the first proper noun that I recognize.
Bad news?
Materasu.
Yeah, the Amaterasu units, which make up the full master unit. We've got the main one, the main Amaterasu unit, that is basically like just the master unit itself. It's the body, it's the thing that does the actual creating. through observation. We'll get to that later. Put a pin in that, if I may. Then we have the, is it the... Oh no. There's so many proper nouns. I'm gonna lose track of them. I believe is it the Kusanagi unit?
Yes.
Alright. It's the Kusanagi unit, which is basically the world's greatest shield. It blocks anything. You can't do anything to it. It's like, what's that thing in Guilty Gear? That's basically that. An absolute defense hellion. Yeah.
I thought this wasn't Guilty Gear. Why do you keep comparing it to Guilty Gear?
Because Strive is popular.
Okay.
See, people actually play that game. Oh. It's like the absolute defense hellion. It's like one of those, but you actually can't break it, like for real. And then the last one is the Susanoo unit, which is basically God's big delete button anytime anything goes wrong. God just says, "You're gone, Susanoo, go deal with it." And then Susanoo deletes it from all possible timelines. Which, by the way, this is a story with multiple timelines. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But Susanoo deletes things from the multiverse. It doesn't just delete things from the current universe. From the multiverse. With no contradictions. They just disappear. Like nothing ever happened. Which is mildly terrifying. But very funny. So, because of the concentration of Seether in the boundary, and the Susanoo unit kind of just being a big shell, the Susanoo unit gets infected with Seether and starts to grow a soul. There we go. My wire is very faulty. It's very bad. That is to say, I will continue using it for the foreseeable future. And so, the Susanoo unit starts to, I guess, gather consciousness. It becomes conscious, it becomes aware. It is aware. It is thinking. And after a while of thinking, the Susanoo unit sort of eventually realizes that, essentially his job sucks. He kind of just sits around all day, because turns out nothing really does go that bad too terribly often in the multiverse. Turns out the master unit's actually pretty good at its job. So he's just sitting around doing literally nothing, and he gets so bored, so tired of his job, he essentially rage quits. He's like, I'm done with this job, we ain't doing this anymore. And then just leaves. He just leaves the rest of the master unit, goes off to do his own thing. And when he does, he strips the Susanoo armor, just pops it off into the boundary. I don't need it anymore. I don't care. And this is the birth of Yuki Terumi, we're going to hear a lot about him. He's a very, very mischievous creature, up to no good. Because he's still mad at his former boss. He's still salty about that. So his next prerogative is, alright, I'm gonna go kill God. That'll be dope. I'm gonna go kill God. I was basically doing only killing things anyways. So, what's the worst that could possibly happen? So, we're off to kill God. We didn't even get to the end of the JRPG yet, and we're already trying to kill God. It's great. So, Yuki Terumi leaves like a comical, like... There's like a little picture of this later in the games. But Yuki Terumi leaves like a Wile E. Coyote, like, imprint. Like a Wile E. Coyote, like, Yuki Terumi shaped hole in the boundary where he leaves. It's hilarious. It's like this tiny little Yuki Terumi shaped shadow. It's very funny. We'll draw him. We'll draw him. Our first member to go on the blackboard. One day it'll be a whiteboard. Oh,
What qualifies friends getting drawn on the whiteboard, Professor?
Arbitrary. There's
Okay.
there's no qualification. Vague importance to the story, and like that's it. He's got the spindly arms. He's got the whee.
If it fits the bit, it will be drawn.
Yes, exactly. And he has the funniest head ever. He's got an egg head. He's got one eye. And he got the big dumb smile. Yeah. Look at this funny
Okay.
dude.
That's a friend.
And then he's got the wires up him. Why? I don't know. It looks cool. I mean, that is essentially where it all starts. It just looks nice. I'm not gonna draw more than that. That's your Yuki Terumi. You're settling for that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and that's not the... Oh!
It became a whiteboard in the end.
Yeah, no.
No! Why are you like this?
Are you sure you don't want to use the whiteboard?
There we go. There we go. Just like magic. What a funny person. I'm sure he will be up to only good things. So he comes out of the boundary and he hops up through a cauldron. Now, what a cauldron is, it's basically like a portal to the boundary. There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of them. And he just hops up through a random one. And he's like, yo, what's up? And it turns out there are actually some people already here. They're looking at the cauldron already. It is 2 scientists. It is 2 scientists who are researching the cauldron at the time. And they don't know any better. They just saw someone pop out. So they're like, oh, yo, this is cool. Yo, we're making progress. What's up? And so Yuki, of course, eager to take advantage of every single person he meets without fault. It's the only thing he knows how to do. Nothing else exists in his heart. He's like, hey, so I'm gonna need your guys' help. There's some wacky stuff going on. And I got a plan I'm trying to commit to. Not gonna elaborate on the plan, but it's a cool plan, I promise. So what I'm gonna need you to do is one of you, I'm gonna need you to build a device so I can go kill God. Not that I want to. Just putting it out there. It'd be nice to have. Second, I want the other one of you to work on giving me a cool body. I wanna come walk around with you guys. You seem cool. So, the scientists, not knowing any better, or just not caring, already being just a little bit quirky, are like, yup, that sounds good. Sure, why not? It'll be funny. So, our first scientist, who we know as Relius Clover, you're gonna be hearing that one a lot, our #1 bad dad of the universe, worst dad in all the multiverse. Can't find one that's any worse. And the other one is Shuichiro Ayatsuki, who is also going to be quite important, but not really. Mostly important in the way that the rest of his extended family is very important. But otherwise, quite important. And they go off to do their tasks. Relius goes off to make the cool body for the weird person who just popped out of the cauldron. Makes one up. And is like, here you go. Awesome. Here's your body. And the other one is still busy. Still working on something still working on a bunch of stuff. Of course. So while, the other scientist is working on creating a sword to kill God. It's gonna take some time. Yuki takes the new body and is like, walks on over. It's like, alright, it works. And then proceeds to enroll in a magical school thanks to the help of Relius, who actually teaches there. This magical school, yes.
Professor, are you telling me there's magical girls in this anime?
You have no idea. There are going to be so many magical girls, you might get tired of them.
Okay.
That doesn't bode well.
In fact, we're gonna see a lot of magical girls right now. Because we're going to magic school, where all the cool magic people are. Ugh. Man. So far, this is going great. How are we holding up with the nouns? We retaining any information here?
No.
Probably.
Awesome. It's working. Oh. So, we're going to magic school. And the notable people here, we have Trinity, who is just kind of a cool bookworm. Likes reading. General nerd. Vibes out. Oh gosh. Who else do we have? There's another one who I need to remember. I need to remember their name. Or their original name. Because there's every character has like 3 or 4 different names. Ugh. So, you know, it's gotta be a little bit. We have Kanoi Mercury, who is a very, very, very good witch in training. In fact, one of the best witches in the training. Dare I say, the 9th best, which is why we call her 9. So her name's 9, but her last name's Mercury. So you can already imagine. You're gonna be hearing that last name a few times as well, of course. And aside from that, I'm trying to think if we got anyone else. I'm thinking, do we have DeSoto? No. See, I'm gonna have to recall a bunch of stuff. But these are the ones that really matter. So, while Yuki Terumi's new body goes off to have, like, a fun, like, I don't know, slice of life anime lifestyle in a cool magic school, Yuki Terumi is still trying to take over. The body's still sentient. Still wants to do things on its own. So, Yuki takes, like, a good long time just talking. Just talking to this dude that he's trying to inherit, basically. Just take over. Normal things. And gradually, they become the best of friends. The biggest of homies. They become one with each other. The realest of dudes. And of course, you never back down from your homies. So, eventually, Yuki convinces his new body to basically let him have it. It'll be so fun, I promise. It'll be dope. You're gonna do some cool... I'm gonna make you do a backflip. And so, upon promise of backflip, who could ever say no?
I have a question. Does he do a backflip?
Oh no, he goes on a murder spree.
Oh no! Who could have guessed?
There's probably at least one backflip in there.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, sorry, this doesn't end well. It's Yuki Terumi. Nothing ever ends well with Yuki Terumi. Goes on a murder spree.
Yuki times.
Yeah, Yuki time! So, Yuki goes on a murder spree because Yuki is just an absolute menace and does not know anything other than eat hot chip, lie, and murder, I guess. Only things. And caused a big upset before getting the heck out of there. Off to go do more mischievous things. Oh, but not for too long, because he is eventually captured. So worry not. Does eventually get captured. But this is a big day. It's not quite Hell Day. We'll get to Hell Day. Actually, Hell Day is coming up real soon. But it's a pretty bad day. And so, once Yuki gets captured, once we're all done with this nonsense, Valkenheim captures him, by the way, who is a part of a family of vampires. We got vampires, by the way, so I hope you were looking forward to that. To a family of vampires. Very cool, powerful vampires. If you know Slayer, you already know what this is about. So, the cool family of vampires, who are all like, well, okay, this is kind of an issue. So we'll just keep you locked up for a little bit. You kind of did a bunch of murder. We'll just keep you chill. We'll look over you, see what's up. Because, of course, that wasn't gonna fly. You can't just murder a bunch of people in a magical school. So, done and dusted. We're good on that front. And one of the people in the cool vampire family we need to make note of. Their name is Rachel Alucard. By the way, they're all Alucards. So that's how you know they're vampires. Because their name is Dracula backwards.
Is it weird that, like, I heard the name Valkenheim and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. And, like, only then did it click to me that Rachel was a character too, even though she's playable.
Like, Valkenheim's playable too now.
I bet.
You can play as the funny, Wolfman. By the way, he turns into a wolf. He's a werewolf. So we got that too. You can turn...
Okay.
Yeah, of course. So, we're already filling our furry quota, but don't worry.
I wasn't worried about filling that quota. Was that something I should have been worried about?
Would be.
Of course you should have been worried. Of course.
I was not prepared for this class. I apologize.
That's okay. No one ever is prepared for BlazBlue. Not even me. I could be beefing half of this. And Rachel is definitely important. Because she is what we call, oh god, I think an onlooker. I gotta sort, because sometimes I use the Japanese name for this, and sometimes I use the English name for it. And it's very important which one I use, because otherwise things might get confusing. I'm gonna go with onlooker. She is an onlooker. And what her deal is basically... gosh, this is a lot. So, she has almighty powers. She can, like, sift through timelines. She's big chillin'. She sees the universe on a macro scale. Can do basically whatever she wants. Even has, like, direct access to the Maxter unit. But the one catch is, you can't do anything. Get all this cool power, and you can't do anything with it. You're supposed to just sit back and watch it all unfold, and sort of just, like, take notes along the way. That's it.
Like this class.
Exactly. You all get to be onlookers for the foreseeable future. So, Rachel's doing that in the meantime, and gets to see all sorts of fun things. But this is when, after all this, we get a bit of a jump to Hell Day. 12/31/2099. Hell Day. The worst day ever in history. And you'll see why very soon. Because a lot of stuff happens. So we're still thinking about making a bunch of stuff. We got scientists who are big chillin', working on a bunch of projects around the boundary and these cauldrons. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a giant beast comes out of the cauldron, called the Black Beast. It's huge, it's giant, it's way bigger than like a city. And it just jumps out, and it's like, alright, it's time to destroy everything. It's apocalypse time. And so, the Black Beast then proceeds to just kill the entirety of Japan. But don't worry, it gets worse. because not only does it take a huge rampage through Japan, but the rest of the nations are like, oh jeez, well this is an issue. So then they proceed to launch nuclear bombs at it, because what else are you gonna do? It's a giant black beast. Now unfortunately, the black beast is an entity made entirely of Seether, so it doesn't really interact with the world in like normal ways. It can only be neutralized by that which is out of reason, which is to say, magic only. Immune to non-magical damage. So, the nukes were a big mistake. So, the rest of the world just accidentally blew up Japan. Again.
The nukes were a big mistake. Oppenheimer, 1945.
So true. So true. So obviously did this nothing. This did absolutely nothing. But, lucky enough, we have some wonderful things going on. Because we still have scientists around. So, if you remember, scientist number 2, Shuichiro, still around to this day, was going to keep working on, you know, the Sword to Kill God. However, plans interrupted by being attacked by the Black Beast. Huge issue. So, he throws together a giant weapon called Kusanagi's Linchpin, which is basically this giant... I guess it kind of looks like a pin. Not really. It just looks like a giant bomb. But, when activated, it will neutralize all the Seether. All of it. Which is good, because that's the whole deal with the Black Beast. I think we should draw a funny little Black Beast over here. Just one of its heads.
How many heads does it have?
Oh, a lot. Like, 8.
I feel like that's important information.
Yeah, I would like to know that. I was envisioning like a dog thing.
No, it's like a big Hydra.
Okay.
It's Yamato no Orochi. I see where they're going.
Yeah. You get it. So, in order to activate Kusanagi's Linchpin, you need something to power it. And there's a big problem with this, because the thing that it needs to be powered is a human. Specifically, one human. Celica A. Mercury, who is Nine's sister. So Nine is, you know, assessing the situation, being a very powerful mage. And once she realizes, oh, I have to sacrifice my sister, oh, this isn't happening. Oh, great. Well, I guess the world's ending. Which is fair enough, I guess. But, luckily for everyone, who is now in turmoil after having to sacrifice, you know, someone, a mysterious man comes along, going only by Blood Edge. Comes along and says, yo, don't worry, fellas, I got you. I can give you guys 1 year to deal with this thing. I'll give you 1 year to find a way to defeat the Black Beast. Just whatever you do, do not sacrifice self. Don't do it. Please, I'm begging you. Do not do it. And so, Blood Edge, out of nowhere, just, like, torpedoes himself into the Black Beast. And it immediately goes to sleep. Just immediately. It's done. Like, okay, we have a year. So, the game plan is to assemble the greatest warriors in the current universe to try and fight the Black Beast. So, the homies come together. We have Nine, one of the greatest mages the world has ever seen. We have Valkenheim, one of the greatest wolfmen we've ever seen.
He sure is a wolf.
He sure is a wolf. That's so true. we have Trinity, who is, in fact, also pretty good at magic. Not as good as 9, but, like, we need all the help we can get. We have Jubei, who is a weird cat person. Definitely a furry.
Wait, I need a spelling of this. I was told to look it up.
Jubei.
Okay.
But he's supposed to be a really cool warrior from an extinct race of cat people. So, the fact that he survived probably lends credence to, you know, being, you know, in the group. We have Hazuma, who is Yuki Terumi's body.
Wait, no. I know Jubei. Jubei is the cat that buries somebody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know Jubei.
Basically, 9 was like, walked up to Yuki's cell or whatever. I was like, listen, I know you killed, like, so many people. Like, I watched it happen. It was awful. However, consider this. And then she immediately puts him on a mind control spell. It's like, you're coming with me, we're fighting the Black Beast. So, sure enough, he's coming with them, and they're fighting the Black Beast. It's as simple as that.
Got him.
Right? Perfect. And, last but not least, coming in clutch at the very end, basically out of nowhere just appears, for some reason, Hakumen, who looks a little bit like the Susanoo armor. Wonder what that's about. But, he's here, and, I mean, he offered to help, so, like, why not, I guess. Sure, what's the worst that could happen? But that's not all. We have way more to do to take on the Black Beast. 9 is a big mage, and so using her cool mage powers, she develops technology. So other people can start using cool magic. They are called Ars Magus. Or they're called Grimoires, and the magic they produce is called Ars Magus. Because it's not real magic. It's a distillation of Seether, but it isn't real magic. It's something different. But it basically works the same way magic does. So, who cares? So, 9 makes a bunch of grimoires. Like, so many. So, you know, your average Joe can get in on the fight. Because the world's ending. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Sit around? Might as well have some fun with it. So, starts distributing a bunch of grimoires, so everyone can start using Ars Magus, and starts making some very, very strong forms of Ars Magus, called the Nyx Nocturus. I think that's it. And the way you make a Nyx Nocturus is that you need human souls. Which sounds like a bad idea. However, consider the fact that we did just nuke all of Japan. So there are a lot of souls lying around. So that we've got a lot of tries. We're good.
What?
I think there's a logic to that.
So, you know, start making some Nox Nocturus. There's a lot of them. You're going to be hearing about them quite a few times. If you want the list, I'm going to see if I can remember this. Okay. There is Gigant Takamikazuchi, which is a giant satellite with a big death laser. So, good idea. You've got Yukianasa. There we go. Yukianasa, which is a cool ice sword, which is a bit of a step down from the orbital death laser, but it's fine. You've got Bulwark, I think, which is a pair of guns. So again, another weird step down, but I promise they do damage. You've got Nirvana, who is a cool puppet. You've got Musashi, which Jubei is currently working with. I think it's like a cool sword. Of
Yeah,
course.
the Samurai Legend.
Yeah. We've got Okami, which is, I believe Hakumen wielded that sword. I think. Or it's something Hakumen had. They needed to explain Hakumen's abilities, okay? So they did it with a Noxneck Taurus. There's Muchorin, which was wielded by Trinity. This is the one she got. It's a cool staff. It does very cool magic things. You got Ouroboros, which is sort of a weird grapple hook. It's a weird grapple hook. They give it to Yuki Terumi for some reason, which seems like a big mistake, but alright. There's Ritenjo, which is, they used to be used by Trinity. At this point, I believe also being used by Trinity. There's the Murakumo, which we'll get into the Murakumo, trust me. They're a whole other can of worms. And there's one more. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Requiem. Or something like that. And it's the one that Nine was using. So, we got the whole crew equipped with cool swords and weapons, and they're ready to take on the Black Beast. And sure enough, with all this firepower, at some point, you know, eventually it has to give in. And thankfully, the Black Beast is destroyed. We're good. We made it. We're all good. However, there is a bit of a problem. Of course, the Black Beast is made entirely of Seether, right? Entirely of Seether. So once it dies, it kind of just becomes Seether, which is very bad. Because, man, terrible things happen when you get exposed to Seether. Terrible things, as you'll come to see. Relius gets thrown into a cauldron. A bunch of other people get exposed to Seether in a whole bunch of ways, and they are not going to come out the same person. Never.
Man, a giant beast gets destroyed in Japan, and its magical part is spread and exposed people to damage. Classic Nier situation.
So,
I guess I was
Does anybody
prepared
else
for
think
this.
this might be an allegory for something?
Absolutely.
no! I don't know what you're talking about.
Just my imagination, probably.
Yeah. So, what happens is everybody in the world starts building. They have to basically rebuild society. So they do so on top of these mountains. But of course, as the population comes back to what it once was, they have to, like, they're sort of out of, you know, they can't really build out. So they just start building up, which creates hierarchical cities, which are just like a bunch of cities that are stacked on top of each other. They just started stacking cities, up, until, you know, everything, eventually, I'm sure, there's no way this stays completely normal. So we're good. We're good, right? Black Beast is destroyed, humanity is recovered, nature is healing. Kind of. The world's still completely covered in Seether and basically untraversable, but that's besides the point. We all survived the apocalypse. We can figure out the details later. The 6 heroes sort of ended up scattering. They ended up going away. This is so good. You can grab some slices. You're good.
Oh, thank you. I already ate.
Unfortunate. This song's got me going crazy. Whose theme is this? This is Bang's theme. We will talk about Bang soon, because he gets one of the Noxneck Taurus, and it becomes very important. But...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
Sorry, I just remembered that character.
Yeah! Bang! Shishigami! Yeah! Our homie!
That's the person I tried to main other than Lychee and Tager.
Ah! To be fair, I mean, I feel like anyone would need a break from both Lychee and Tager. That's a deadly combo right there of trying to learn the game.
Mhm.
So, nature's healing, all that. The cool people, they've sort of dispersed and gone off to do their own thing. Jubei is back to hang with the homies. Who knows where Hazma / Yuki Terumi went? Who knows? Off doing something or whatever. And, you know, we all sort of go our separate ways if we didn't die or get lost. Most of them got lost, I'm sorry to say. So, we start normaling out a little bit. The action sort of starts to chill as we start needing new government because everywhere else completely collapsed. So, we need a new government. So, a bunch of people who are cool and rich and powerful, and also happen to own a lot of ours, own a lot of grimoires. They form a strange government called the NOL, colloquially known as the Library, because they have a lot of grimoires. What a bunch of nerds! But they sort of take over as the de facto government for the rest of the world, because, I mean, no one else wanted to do it, I guess, so sure, why not? All the nerds get to be at the top of the society now. Whoa!
Yay.
Whoa! But of course, this is not universally enjoyed. So, oh, sorry, it's getting hot in here. I don't know why. So we have a bunch of descent groups, of course. There are some notable ones. Sector 7 is the one that we should bring up, which you're going to get a great kick out of this, because we get to talk about Lychee and Tager now. So, Sector 7 is a group of scientists. But not like cool magic scientists. Just straight up scientists. Nothing but test tubes, baby. They hate magic. All my homies hate magic. So, they're off doing their own non-magical things. The primary member is Pokanoe, who is, if I may say this, the daughter of Nine and Jubei. So, we're not going to think about that too hard, but that did happen, and I'll let you think about it on your own. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yes. Stork came in. And she sort of runs the group as the kind of de facto leader. And she really gets things kicked off when she saves Tager, who we're going to talk about now. Tager got in a great big ol' fight with his clan, with his homies, but lost and almost died. But Pokanoe happened to be around for some reason. Happened to be around. It was like, oh no, we're not doing this today. Pulls him back and injects him with Oni DNA. So that's a thing that exists. Onis are real in this universe. They're real. And
Least surprising thing to find out is real so far, honestly.
yeah, that's fair. So Onis are a thing, and Tager gets injected with Oni DNA, which just saves his life. So now he's indebted, and now he's team cool science people. You also have Lychee. Yes, I want to continue watching. Yes.
Let's go, science.
Yeah, let's go science! We also have Lychee, who is also a cool science woman, loves science, and is getting along with another scientist, who I think goes by the nickname Ron, I think. It's Ron for now. So, let's see what we can we could draw over here? Let's see, what would be fun to draw? Maybe we should draw one of the next unicorns. Sure, let's draw the let's draw a big satellite laser. Sure. Let's put him up here. This will be easy and simple and fun. Whee! And it's it's a big he's big, yeah. And then we've got a little, yeah. And he's a big square up in space. And he like separates into 4. It's a whole thing. And he's getting ready to fly. It's just a big creature in here, by the way. It's not like a normal technology thing. It's literally like a living creature in there. It's very funny. Get the solar panels. Yeah. Perfect. I'm sure that'll come off as a death space laser to anyone who isn't who was watching before. Yeah. Perfect.
Maybe if you draw a beam coming out of it.
Ooh, that's true. I could draw the guy. He's got a funny face. He's got an eye. He's got a... And then... Whee! Yeah! Good job! I cannot wait for you to become a main antagonist. Oh, did I say that out loud? Anyways. So. Where was I?
Wait, who are the bad guys here? I know that we had the mean, like, Hydra thing, but was that it? Is it God? Is it the robots?
Oh, don't worry. Yuki Tarumi's still out there.
Yes, our friend.
Yuki Tarumi's still out there, ready to cause mischief at any time. In fact, he will start causing mischief very soon. I believe, under an alias, Ozma, he's going to join the NOL! What could possibly go wrong? Yeah! Along with that, we have a very specific story to go over as the NOL is forming. We have the story of the main 3, the 3 homies, the people you know about. Ragna, Jin, and Saya. They are rescued from a facility by Jubei, who is a homie, and takes them back to Celica A. Mercury, who's still around. Awesome sauce. This is, we're chilling around, like, right here. NOL. Nice. Don't ask me what the acronym stands for. I know it ends in library. That's all I know. Alright? No further questions. Ugh.
Okay.
Delicious. So, they're rescued by Jubei, who's still out and about, hanging around. Also, somewhere along these lines, at some point, Jubei gets cloned. We'll get to that later. Put a pin in that. But for now, Jubei's saving a bunch of kids and returns them to Celica A. Mercury, who is now a very cool, just like a cool nun, just a cool sister, hangs out in church, and decides to raise the homies. And they grow up together as siblings, and it's all good in the world. That is, until our homie Yuki Tarumi comes in, out of nowhere, for reasons unknown for now, and causes absolute chaos between all of this. Yuki Tarumi steps up, and prerogative number 1, give Jin a cool sword. It's the cool ice sword. It's the Noctis Taurus. It's the cool ice sword. Now here you go. Here you go, small child. Here's a sword. Doesn't it look cool? Please hold it. Thank you. Second, taking Saya. Yoink! We're gonna deal with this later. You two hang out for now. Number 3, burn down everything. Everything goes up in flames. No fun for anyone. Alright, I'm seeing you fellas. Have fun. Bye! And then just leaves.
Yuki Terumi comes in, makes some protagonists, and leaves.
Bye!
A good villain, you can tell.
So, Jin, if you remember, the Noctis Taurus are made with souls. They're made with the souls of people. And so the souls kind of inhabit a little bit. They inhabit the weapon, you know? When you carry them, you can kind of hear them. They scream in your ears. It's very annoying. But, as you can imagine, this is quite a lot for a child to handle. So, Jin is quickly taken over by the sword. Just taken over immediately by the souls of the Noctis Taurus. And
So,
yes.
Jin is the like primary example of that meme of the kid running around with a knife. Is what you're saying?
Yes, and
Okay.
yes, and you will it will end as bad as you expect it to end, because Jin then proceeds to outright kill Saya before Yuki Terumi can even do anything about it. Just kills Saya outright, and then proceeds to chop off Ragna's arm and just leaves. On with Yuki Terumi maybe, but probably not. So Ragna is left dying. Not great. But of course, Jubei is here, coming to the rescue once again. A little late, but it's all good. We can at least save one of them. So Jin is off, running off with his cool new ice sword. Who knows what he's doing. And Ragna is quickly swiped up. Nah, you're coming with me, you ain't doing this. And taken away. Off to a fun meadow place or whatever. And so the protagonists are born. Jin ends up going off to join the NOL and becomes like a very high-ranking member in the NOL. Very cool. Very awesome. Now, while Saya may be dead, someone who looks a whole lot like Saya, which you're going to be hearing that phrase a lot. It's a fun drinking game. If you would like to drink every time I say a character looks like Saya, you may want to say goodbye to your bladder, but it will be very funny. But a character that looks a lot like Ragna's sister Saya also turns up at the NOL. And her name is Noelle. One letter off, so great. I guess it was destined. And she is so adept and so cool at magic that she can just summon the cool gun Noctis Taurus. She just can do it out of nowhere. Why? Because she's just that good at magic. She's just that cool, I guess. So, of course, the NOL is like, oh, great. Well, I mean, you might as well come with us then, you know? Might as well. Would be fun. And so she also becomes a part of the NOL. Now, Ragna, our main homie, comes by with Jubei to the cool place, random field. I forget. It's like a shack, and of course it's still bleeding out. So Jubei makes like a split decision and like looks through his drawer or something. He's like, oh, what do I have around here? What do I got? Oh, well, if it isn't a very strange looking grimoire. Alright, cool. Let me just slap that right on you. Thunk! Alright, you're good to go. And so, Ragna's arm is replaced with the Azure Grimoire, which is a very, very cool grimoire. It's very cool, because it taps right into the Azure and can do a bunch of cool stuff, I think. But the point is, Ragna's saved. We're good. We survived the incident. And, of course, Jubei's like, well, okay. So there's clearly an issue here. We're gonna need to like teach you how to fight and stuff. So, also looks through his drawers like, I don't know, what do I have around here? Oh, well. If it isn't the stuff that the weird Blood Edge guy left around here. All right, here you have these. And so Ragna takes them up and dons the moniker Ragna the Blood Edge because he's wearing Blood Edge's cool suit. So we finally made it! We made it to the main character of the series! How long did that take? Oh no. A whole hour. We're not even to the first game yet. Oh no.
What?
All backstory.
So we got Ragna! Ragna's a part of the story now! So, we will actually be getting to the... I believe we will be getting to, main story soon. We do have some other things to touch upon. When Yuki Terumi comes out of the yeah. When Yuki Terumi comes out of the boundary to go commit some very heinous actions with the trio of main characters, he happens upon someone. Again, for some reason, Yuki Terumi has a really good luck meeting people, specifically at cauldrons that he's coming out of. I don't know why. This is just something that keeps happening. But once he stumbles upon this dude, it's Roy! It's Roy from Sector 7! And he has gone a little crazy, because Azure kind of tends to do that to you. He started studying the cauldron and never came back. And now, he's staring down an open cauldron, and someone's coming out. So, of course, Yuki Terumi, doing the only thing that he knows how to do, is like, oh, yeah, alright. Hey, buddy! I know you're looking for all the answers about these wacky cauldrons. You know what you could do? You want to come down in here? You can come see it for yourself. It'll be awesome. You can just jump on it, and before he even finishes his sentence, Roy just like, whee! Woo! Yeah, baby! Woo! That's what people wait for! Jumps right in. Bad choice. Very bad choice. Now, in terms of people coming back out, Roy will eventually come back out later. Which is great, but unfortunately, he comes out completely disfigured, barely has a memory left, can't do anything. Basically just a blob. And he goes by the name of Arakune. So, that's how you know that Yuki Terumi is truly evil, because he is directly responsible for the introduction of Arakune to the series. So, absolute war criminal as far as I'm concerned. Worst villain I've ever seen. Nobody should be allowed to do that.
Is this character a grappler or something?
Oh, if only it was that simple. Oh,
You should doodle Arakune.
You're right, I should. Yeah. Hanging from the ceiling. Yeah. What's up, dude? What's up? Got his weird arm.
It's like, what if we made No Face worse?
I love No Face, but why would you make him worse?
Exactly.
I don't like this.
He's got the wacky grip. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's good Narakune you're getting. Look at this nerd. Unfortunate. By the way, interesting fact, take another drink, because the head of the NOL also strangely looks like Ragna's sister Saya, so that's another one down for you. So we got a lot of people already walking around that look like Ragna's sister Saya. I'm sure this will all be working out great in the future. You know who else also comes out of a cauldron? Relius comes out of a cauldron. He got thrown in when the Black Beast came out. He just happened to be around and just fell in. Workplace accident, I guess. But he comes out an even worse father. He comes out horrendous. Because, presumably, Relius, coming out 80 years later, which, by the way, the boundary connects, between times, too. So you can go to a different time, same timeline, through the boundary. So, you know, just in case. Comes out of the same cauldron 80 years later, and he has seen creation. He has seen the beauty of creation. All the wonderful things. Let me, actually, I think I could... No! Why? Why? No!
Is it, when the board goes white, is that the beauty of creation? Is that what's going on?
Yes! You get it! My claws. He's off. That should hopefully do it. Come on. Yeah! There we go. Thank you, Blackboard. But, yes, Relius comes out of the, cauldron, a changed man. He has seen the beauty of creation and, the full totality of the universe. Which, quite frankly, is one of the best deals anyone's ever got out of being thrown in a cauldron, if we're to be completely honest. Because, as you can see Arakune over here, Arakune didn't get a great deal. Arakune over here got absolutely, demolished. Very unfortunate. But Relius over here gets a glimpse into the beauty of the universe. Great. And comes out pretty much completely unharmed. Outside of his mind, which is irreparably damaged by his newfound knowledge of creation. He now basically sees humans as funny little fleshy meat bags with souls in them that he likes to poke now. So, he is off to go be a mad scientist forever. New occupation. From scientist to mad scientist.
I mean, it has better benefits. It's not really that big of a career change. It's like going to a different company.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. So he is off to do some very, very bad things. That definitely involve his immediate family. And maybe a bit of murder. We'll get there.
Do we have to?
There sure is a lot of murder here, even for a fighting game.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of murder. There's gonna be a lot more too. Don't you worry. And with all that out of the way, mostly, there is something else to elaborate on. The Murakumo. The Murakumo, if you remember those Znachnus Taurus. They are very important because they are essentially a continuation of that sword that can kill God I talked about earlier. It got finished thanks to Nine the Phantom. And they're going to be playing a big part in our immediate near future. Murakumo units are going to start showing up and they're going to start being an issue. Which is very fun for everyone, I know. We'll fix this up a little bit. And we'll be getting to see one really soon, because I'm happy to announce that after all of this preamble, after all of this, we are finally at the beginning of the first game, BlazBlue Calamity Trigger! Woo!
Let's
we
go!
did it!
Pew 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 pew.
Hall break!
It's been an hour.
Hall break!
Are you okay? Do you need a break?
Yeah, call break.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, I believe we will be going to intermission for a short bit, and we will be right back. Stick around. We have more to show after the intermission.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoyed that short break, and welcome back.
Yeah, I'm drawing Jubei. It's the worst Jubei in the universe.
Let's go, Cat Dad.
Cat Dad! Oh! Hold on. Oh, do I still have audio? Oh, someone speak!
Hello?
Awesome! Alright, cool. I just, like, whacked into my, I whacked into my cord and I got really worried because it snapped at me. And I was like, oh no, did I unplug it again? I did not.
Cat Dad too powerful.
It's true. Oh, welcome back. I also drew Valkenheim over here, saying hitting a woo in wolf form. This is obviously a wolf. I don't know how you could interpret it as anything else. Ugh. But we made it to the beginning of Calamity Trigger! Woo! We did it! So we start off with a bunch of people in a bunch of different places. First of all, Ragna and Jubei, they are both off separately destroying a bunch of cauldrons. Basically any cauldron they can find and killing anyone around that happens to be trying to guard it. So they're on a big crusader. They don't want anything to do with this anymore. They're done with this. Which is very fair. And they both, at least Ragna, converges specifically on the, where is it? The cauldron in Kagatsuchi, which is a kind of like a big collective of a bunch of hierarchical cities. It's like a mega city. It's City 2. It's a big populated place, so it's got a big cauldron that needs to be destroyed. And through all of this destruction and death, Ragna has officially broken a new world record. He has acquired the largest bounty in the history of all mankind. So, that's great. Everyone's after him.
Congrats on the PV.
Yeah. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy, etc., etc. Jin is chilling at the NOL, and someone mentions, hey, did you know that Ragna person's heading towards Kagatsuchi? And something, like, bizarre awakens inside him. He literally starts cackling like a madman. He's like, oh my god, I can't wait to kill Ragna. This is gonna be so awesome. I want to kill Ragna so bad. I hate my brother. I want him to die. And he immediately zooms off to go kill Ragna. Everyone's very confused, but Jin seems to be very enthusiastic about this for some reason. Relius' son, and the whole Relius gang, also happens to be after Ragna, because he specifically wants the Azure Grimoire. And the reason for that is because the Azure Grimoire is very epic and cool and taps right into the Azure. So he thinks that he can potentially change his fate once he gets his hands on it. Because, sorry, we have to get into the family murder part now. Sorry. Because Relius went on a killing spree through his entire family, and because he doesn't care anymore, he just thinks they're all funny meatbags with souls inside that he likes to poke. So he started making Knock Nictoris out of them. Just started killing off family members and making cool weapons out of them. Like, ooh, what can I do with my wife? Shweet! Oh, this one's gonna be a great weapon. Started doing that. So, right now, Carl is holding a Knock Nictoris, specifically Nirvana, which is currently inhabiting the soul of his sister. Unfortunate. And Relius, of course, is also wielding his weird mockery of a Nox Nictoris made out of his wife. So it's a whole fun family reunion that Carl's trying to get. He's like, I don't know, maybe I could try and amend this absolute dumpster fire of a family. Surely.
So optimistic.
Very optimistic. Because Lychee and Roy, or Ron, I forget his name. It's either Roy or Ron. It's one of them. But now Arcune are also chilling in Kagatsuchi kind of awkwardly chasing after each other to try and see what's up, because they used to be kind of dating, so the situation's a little awkward now that Roy is, well, for lack of a better term, an Arakune player. So it's rough. It's rough. That is definitely a lot to handle. It's unfortunate. We have, I think, Taokaka, who is a clone of Jubei. In fact, there's a lot of clones of Jubei. Don't ask me when this happened, by the way. I actually don't remember when this happened. But at some point, because Jubei is so cool, they just decided to try and clone him, and made an entire new species, called the Kaka clan. Hilarious. And Taokaka is their leader, and chills out at, like, the bottom floors of Kagetsuchi. So, Taokaka's hanging around, and sort of just, like, poking around curiously, like, oh, what's going on? It's a little more, air's a little heavier than usual. Everyone's so serious right now. What's up? Probably says something offensive to Carl and they fight. Who knows? Everything is, and of course, who else but our homie Hazma is walking around like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious. This is gonna be so fun. I can't wait to watch what's gonna happen. This is gonna be so dope. Everything's going according to plan. So he's walking around, hanging out, doing whatever, and we get to kickstart everything. We're here. We get to the plot of the first game. Everything converges on Kagetsuchi, and everyone starts fighting for various reasons. Ragna encounters a lot of foes on his way to the cauldron of Kagetsuchi. Encounters a lot of people. Fights Carl. That goes well. Fights Arakune. Almost dies, but is saved by Lychee. Because Lychee finally finds Arakune because he's trying to kill someone. Fair enough. And they have an interesting moment. And interestingly enough, if I remember correctly, Carl actually gets with the group of people who lost to Ragna, and they all start becoming friends. Carl gets a nice little cry over everything that he's been through. His entire family going to hell. Fair enough. So Lychee gets to play mom for a little bit. They have a nice hug. It's actually pretty wholesome. It's really nice. Poor Carl. Deserves so much better. Fights a bunch of people on his way to the cauldron. And when he gets there is when everything starts going wrong. When he gets there, we approach this end of the timeline over here. Which is, there's gonna be a reason that's the end of the timeline. So that's how you know it's real bad. The timeline ends there. When he gets there, it turns out that they've been cooking up a new Murakumo unit, which I drew over here. I drew the funny Murakumo unit. It's literally a sword to kill God. But it doesn't just take that form. It turns into a cool suit of armor. Yeah, there's no way they could make a literal sword. That'd be too practical. It turns into a cool suit of armor that you can wear into the boundary, so you can go kill God. Of course. So, they were cooking one up in a cauldron, because that's how you make a Murakumo unit. You kind of gotta soak it. It's like pasta. You gotta boil it in the cauldron for a little bit, let it sit, wait till al dente, and then pull it out. But this Murakumo unit is up and ready, and while Ragna has fought Murakumo units before, this one's the new one. It's cooler, it's better, it's probably weird, and it's called New 13, and she's my favorite. I love her. She's a zoner. She's a BlazBlue zoner, and she's very funny. Now, New 13's thing is very weird. Very weird relationship with Ragna. They just meet, and for lack of better terms, she's like really into Ragna. Like really, like it's a weird like sexual thing. It's so weird. But also it's like she wants to die with him. So it's also that kind of thing. It's a really weird relationship. And to make it even worse on Ragna's end, you'll never believe it when I tell you this, but for some reason, she looks very vaguely like Ragna's lost sister, Saya. Oh no! Another drink for you! So this is obviously very weird for Ragna. Not fun. Not good. But they have to fight. Because, well, Ragna's got to destroy the cauldron. So, they fight. And all is going well. They're wearing each other out. New 13's actually putting up a pretty good fight. By putting up a good fight, I mean spamming drive attacks from like a reasonable distance away so she doesn't get touched. But within the canon, it's a heated battle. We'll assume that for somehow Ragna manages to get in and get one combo off. So the battle's going right well until wrong series. Until New just sort of walks up, grabs him, and like, alright, that's enough of this. Let's just do the thing together. Whee! Whee! And they both go in the cauldron. Nue hits the crazy 720 SPD and goes right into the cauldron. Right before Jin can get there, too. Jin watches this happen. He's like, no! Oh no, this is bad. And so he jumps in, too. He's like, no, we're not doing this! But it's too late. Unfortunately, he gets there too late. And so they both jump in the cauldron. And that is bad. And we'll start off with the more I don't know. Is it? Yeah, this is the more digestible part of the timeline. We're gonna stay in the present time. After they jump in, everything is bad. Like, everyone's, like, staring. They're like, oh my god, what just happened? Oh no. And specifically, you know who really doesn't like this? Oh god, what's his name? What's his name? Oh no. It's Takumi Kazuchi! I'm so good at nouns. This guy up here, the giant death space laser. Him. This is not what's supposed to happen. This is not good. This is bad, and you'll see why it is very bad, very soon here. But, Takumi Kazuchi is like, oh no! We're not doing this. This is awful. So, under orders, I believe, of the Master Unit, Takumi Kazuchi fires off into the city and completely destroys it. Everyone dies. Every single person dies. It's game over. World literally ends right then and there. Sorry, we ended the world. Oops. Unfortunate. But what's even worse is what Ragna's off doing in the boundary. What he's doing off in the boundary. He's traveling through the boundary. He's strangely merging with the Murakumo unit. Who knows what's happening? But he comes out, if I recall correctly, he comes out of the cauldron at December 31st, 2099. Oh no! What happened? Oh no! Plot twist, the Black Beast is Ragna. He kills everyone! Oops! Who knows? He goes back in time and kills everyone as the Black Beast and starts this horrendous time loop. Welcome! You've made it! We finally get to our first time loop of BlazBlue. The Calamity Trigger time loop. Very important. This keeps on resetting. Because when Ragna falls into the cauldron with New 13, they merge And due to the just reasons that we'll get to later, when they merge, they accidentally create the Black Beast. Oops! Kill everyone. Unfortunate how that works out. So, while over in the present time, the world is ending. Not good. Off in the past, Ragna's off killing everyone. It's the Black Beast. And so, the Master Unit is like, no, this is awful. I hate this. This is the worst possible timeline. Let's try again. And then resets to the moment that the Black Beast awakens. Which starts the Calamity Trigger time loop. With these events that I've just described to you, everything past the Black Beast repeat hundreds and hundreds of times. Literal hundreds. Over and over. And steadily create the world. Everything I've told you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are the characters of BlazBlue, with I guess some obvious exceptions, aware of the loops?
No, they are not. There are some characters who are. Specifically, Rachel Alucard is very aware. Because she is an onlooker. So she gets to see everything. She gets all the cool almighty powers. The downside is, she has to sit through this time loop so many times. So many times. So she eventually starts just, like, hanging around Ragna. Because, you know, why not? You've got nothing else to do. And starts feeding him, like, cryptic hints as to, like, how his life's gonna end up. She spends, like, so much time perfecting her riddles. Because she's got hundreds of years to do it. What else are you gonna do? If you can't interfere with the world, I mean... You're just kind of sitting there watching the same 100, like, years. Hundreds of times, over and over.
Now, I seem to remember that there was, like, slight differences in each person's story when you play through them. Is that explained by there being this loop happening over and over?
Yes.
Cool.
Every single story mode route, with every single character and every single variance, is fully canon. It is just a different loop of the Calamity Trigger time loop.
That feels like cheating from a writing standpoint, but it's also really smart.
Alright, that's dope. It's super dope. I actually really like it. It makes all of them really meaningful and super fun. You get a lot of really interesting tidbits out of it. Oh! Oh! The pizza's fighting back.
Oh no.
I know, right?
How could pizza betray you? It's supposed to be your friend.
Exactly. It's so sad. So, a few things happen through this loop. Now we'll start to explain events. So I mentioned that Jin falls into the cauldron. On loop, I believe, 299. Yes, loop 299. Jin ends up going back in time to basically, I don't know when, ends up like plopping somewhere back in time. I believe somewhere before. No, it's somewhere after Hell Day. It's like somewhere like right after Hell Day. Pops back in time and lands heavily injured due to his wounds and from being exposed to the boundary for too long, because you know that's just something that happens. Plops in basically into Rachel Alucard's lap, and Rachel is ecstatic. She's like, "Oh my god! This is new! This is like a substantial difference in the timeline. We're getting somewhere." Alright, Jin, how you doing? I'm dying. Okay, awesome. That's great. However, I can cut you a deal. I want to make this interesting. Oh, I got something fun for you. Because I need something different for these stupid timelines. Please. I need something different for these timelines. Do you want to live? Yes, of course. I want to kill Ragna. Okay. Well, I can do that for you. I can do you a solid. You can go after it. However, you're not going to be able to use this body because you're irreparably damaged. You're going to die. Bad news. Oh, no. How do I kill Ragna? Well, you see, there was this random suit of armor that sort of just dropped out of the cauldron one of these days as well. It looks like the Susanoo armor. Do you want in? It'll save you. Sure, fine. Hops in. And now we have the origin story for not Susanoo, for Hakumen. The 6th random guy who showed up out of nowhere. It's Jin! It's Jin! Jin is Hakumen in the Susanoo. It's Jin all along. And, of course, that's why he wants to kill Ragna during the story mode. It's because he's still Jin. Still wants to kill Ragna. Alright, I think the pizza's docile again. Alright,
It's
good.
behaving?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Delicious. Oh, I just realized I forgot to explain something. That's kind of important? Not really important, kind of important.
Wait, no, I need a scale of how important things are. What
This
is
is-
the most important thing drawn here?
The most important thing here is the Black Beast, because I basically drew Ragna. Or maybe Yuki Terumi. Yuki Terumi is
Okay.
a big bad. Up to no
How-
good.
How important is this thing that you forgot to explain relative to...
Like a 6 out of 10, I'd say.
Okay. Pretty important then.
Yeah, I think so. It's called the Power of Order. It's the reason why Celica needed to be sacrificed for Kusanagi's linchpin. It's because she has the power of order. Which, I'm gonna be quite frank with you, is stupid. But it is a part of the series, so I do have to talk about it. The power of order is basically the universe creating, like, it's sort of like the universe dealing with its own problems. It's like the universe's immune system. Whenever there's, like, some sort of oncoming issue, that is going to, like, potentially threaten the entire universe, a few people are gifted with the power of order, which essentially gives them the exact ability that they need to deal with whatever issue is going to happen in the near future. And Celica was given that. She was given anti-see their properties, as per the power of order, because the universe ordained that it did not want to deal with this today. So, that's why. And we'll hear about some more people who also have the power of order later, because there are multiple.
Okay, that's the dumbest thing I've heard all night, and I just need everybody to know that.
Yep.
I'm not okay.
We've reached that point.
Yep. You don't ask me how it works. It's just how it is. That's how universe work. I guess. So yeah, we have an explanation for Hakumen. Right? We get a bunch of interesting explanations, none of which are super important. They're mostly really small stuff. But what we need to focus on is specifically how the time loop is broken. Which will finally conclude our talk for today. Thank goodness. How the loop is broken is finally, after I don't know how many loops, has to be 500 plus. So we've been waiting around for a while. For the first time, Noelle makes it to the cauldron before Ragna does. Noelle makes it to the cauldron before Ragna does, which is huge. No one ever makes it to the cauldron before Ragna does. So, having Noelle make it there first, okay, huge. We can start doing some things. Great. And of course, Ragna shows up pretty much right after. But Noelle's like, no, don't jump into the cauldron. And Ragna's like, what? What do you mean? Like, I'm here to stop you. So, they're like, okay, whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna go fight the Murakumo unit. What's up, New 13? Hi! And they fight again. And they have their battle. And of course, New never misses the 720 SPD into the cauldron. She's so good at it. Ragna just does not know how to tech, apparently. Very unfortunate. But, before they can go in, Noelle, like, just fucking grabs. Woo! Nope, we're not doing this today. Throws them out. And sacrifices herself by jumping into the cauldron in their place. Which, at this point, Rachel must be relieved. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Ragna didn't go back in time and kill everyone. Oh, finally. At last. It took so long. But we're finally here. We made it. Alright, we can stop now. Right? But we have bad news. And it's gonna get real complicated from here. So you're gonna have to stick with me. You're gonna have to stick with me for a little bit. I promise. I promise it won't be that bad. It'll just be very confusing. But I promise. If you just stick along, maybe it'll make a little sense. Noelle, thrown into the cauldron, quickly makes her way back out. However, she has seen directly into the Azure. She got a beeline directly to the Azure. Saw that thing immediately. And for this, she was given the eyes of the Azure, which give her observation powers. We're going to talk about those in a little bit. Actually, no, we should probably talk about them now. Ah, boy. Alright, so, what background do you all have in quantum mechanics?
Unfortunately, quite a bit.
Alright, this might actually make sense to you.
Probably more than the average person, but not very much.
Okay. Maybe this will actually make sense. Maybe this isn't a completely dead crowd. Okay. So, there's a principle in quantum mechanics about observing particles.
Are you
yeah.
gonna Schrodinger's cat us?
I will Schrodinger's cat at you.
Okay.
The double slit experiment, if you know what it is. Basically that particles behave differently when they're observed. Which might already start ringing some alarm bells. The way observing works is you are given a higher order of observation on the universe, where your observation, what you see as reality, holds more weight than anyone else's, generally. Or most people, most normal people who don't have these powers. So, you get to see all these cool timelines, and whichever one you choose to observe becomes reality. It's like cool god powers. And in fact, it is the reason why the Master Unit works. It's the reason why the Master Unit works. The Master Unit also works with observation powers. Just like the most observation powers ever. Supreme observation powers. Highest order observation powers. But the Azure isn't too far behind. So, Noelle, given the eyes of the Azure, is given very high order observation powers. She essentially gets to choose whether the cat lives or dies, if that makes any sense. So, big thing, big whole thing that just happened. Noelle is now kind of a demigod. That's great. Bad news, however, Yuka Terumi steps out of the shadows and is like, hey, Noelle, look at me! Look at me! I'm over here! I'm waving my hand! Look over me! Yes! Woo! Let's go! And, because Noelle got so distracted by Yuki Terumi's existence, he was such a troublemaker. He looks like such a funny guy. Just completely takes up all of her observation. And through this observation, literally, wills himself into proper existence. No longer a spirit. Yuki Terumi is real now! Because this was all his plan. He set up this whole time loop. He set up a time loop to make sure that this would happen. So Noelle, with her newfound eyes of the Azure, could look at him and use her observation powers unknowingly on him to bring him into the proper reality so he can wreak even more havoc. Awful. You hate to see it. So, okay, Yuka Terumi's real now. No longer just like a weird Seether ghost. Real, has a body and everything. Looks like Hosma, of course. Why wouldn't it? At this point, you might as well. You've already doubled down. And I was like, alright, well, that's all good. I'm taking this girl, and we're off to go do some mischief. Whee! And he's like, oh, and then they just leave. Oops. Accidentally made Yuka Terumi real, and now the world is in imminent danger. But hey, we're out of the time loop, so we don't have to deal with the time loop anymore.
Slightly less imminent danger, not less of a laser blowing everybody up thing.
Yeah, well, the laser's still gonna fire.
Well,
The laser's still gonna fire because Takumi Kajushi still doesn't like this. And still attempts to fire. But Rachel comes in and breaks her overseer? Something like that. Breaks her overseer oath, calls upon God's big like shield that deflects everything. Like, alright, we're not doing this anymore. And just blocks it. And of course it's God's shield, so of course the laser does nothing. So we're saved! We've done it! Of course, the universe is very mad at Rachel for actively intervening, but yeah, it's a 3-strike system. You know? Little lenience. Oh. And with that, there's one more thing to talk about before we leave. I believe. To set us up for Continuum Shift, I believe. Is it Continuum Shift? I think it's Continuum Shift. Which is, by the way, if you were wondering, the Calamity Trigger is the death of the world that happens when Takumi Kazushi fires. That's the Calamity Trigger. It caused everything to reset. And the Continuum Shift is, all of the realities that are now immediately possible that weren't before because Noelle can now observe them. That's the Continuum Shift, which is the next game. So, get excited for next time. Now that observation makes a little more sense. Maybe it doesn't, but now that I've explained it, I can tell you about one more thing relating to observation and the powers of observation. And that is the Takamakahara system. Not to be confused with Takumi Kazuchi, the Takamakahara system is a very different thing. The humans have known about Robot God for quite some time. They know about the Master Unit. They've seen it. As people started researching the boundary. And so, eventually, at some point, I believe the NOL decided to make their own god. They're like, okay, we kind of understand how this works a little bit, so we're just gonna make God 2.
God 2, we have God at home.
Yeah! They made God at home. They put together their own Master Unit-like construct called the Takamakahara system. It consists of 3 observers who all observe each other into existence. They got a weird trifecta going on. And they all also simultaneously observe certain results, whatever they really want to. Really depends on what the animal is feeling that day. They don't have too much power because they're not as cool. They have like normal observation powers, so we're not quite God level. We're not quite Azure level, but we're up there, you know. We're like tier 3, you know? Tier 3 observation powers. So they can do some affects. But of course, you know, one of these days, Fake God got the idea that it was cooler than Real God, and now also wants to kill Real God. So, you know, the Takamaka system and the Yuki kind of get along pretty well. So, Yuki kind of convinces them to keep up the whole shindig just in case. You know, like, keep looking at me. I'm real. Right, guys? Yeah, you bet I'm real. That's so cool. Thank you. I'm gonna go kill God for you now. And so they're buddies now. And now that we're done with all this, we're finally done with one BlazBlue game. One BlazBlue game! We finished the plot of one BlazBlue game.
The next game will go faster, right?
Yeah, it will. I promise.
I have a lot to build on.
The next part will be the last part. We don't have. There's gonna be a lot less explanation and a lot less weird questions, and more answers to previous questions.
I just have one question.
Yes.
How does Kirby fit into all this?
Kirby.
Yeah. The problem is, before I was going to ask this anyway, there's actually quite a few things that reminisce of your Kirby rant that which we were going into, unfortunately.
Well, let me think about this. Actually, no, this is really simple. Because the boundary connects all universes and all possible multiverses. So by all means, somewhere out there, the Kirby universe is also connected to the boundary. It could even be stated, you could even say, if you were mad enough to say it, that another dimension is the boundary. If you really want to say that, you could. Because it serves the same function, and they look kind of similar. Weird how that works. I mean, did you see where the final boss takes place? It's very blue.
I haven't seen another dimension and the boundary in the same room together.
Very strange. Alright, that's it though. I'm tapping out.
Alright, then. In that case, Rena, where can we find you?
You can find me on my Twitch channel, BunniestBunRena, where I don't do this content. But I might be playing BlazBlue. So, if you wanted to, like, remember that this was, like, a fighting game that, like, people just, like, play competitively, completely irrespective of the story mode, I'll be there for that. I'll also be playing a lot of Strive since Season 3 is out. So, I can't wait to get completely blasted by Johnnies. Isn't that so exciting?
Let's go, Johnny fans. Let's go.
Woo! Johnny fans are always winning because he's always S tier. You can also find me I mean, not me. You can find my very good friend, Bodaciously Kamek, on Bandcamp. I'm a big fan of hers, and I think all her music is, like, just the best music ever. You should really check her out. So, that's gonna be fun. But aside from that, what about my students? Where can I find my students after class?
Student 2, where can we find you?
You can find me at my Twitch channel, Valeria Asteria, and also my YouTube channel, and my SoundCloud channel, and my Blue Sky. I don't really know what to do with that yet, but it's all the same username.
Yeah. And I am Critique Quartz. I am that name on all of my social media platforms. If you can't find me under that, I'm not there. So I stream on Twitch occasionally, very, very, very infrequently, and I have a YouTube channel. So please come check it out. Other than that, I think we're going to head to intermission real quick. But I would like to give a shout out to our host today, Linear Cannon. Linear Cannon, do you have anything to say? She just rejoined us.
Wow, that's so cool.
Hey everyone, I completely missed that. What was the question?
Yeah, we're just wrapping up for the day. Do you have anything you want to tie up?
No?
Nice.
Okay. Well, Linear, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitch. I go by LinearC there. I haven't been streaming much for a while now, but I'm mainly a variety streamer. I love survival horror, rhythm games, and RPGs a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And now we're going to go to Indo Showcase announcements. Thank you, everyone.
Hey everyone, thank you all for tuning in to Attract Mode today. Next time on Attract Mode, we may not have gotten to hear about Happy Chaos this time, but we're all still ladies who love video games with a little chaos. Tune in Sunday, August 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern as Leggy Starscream is back to show off an old classic with new skin. He's speedrunning Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster 80% glitchless, and chaos is going down. For all my FF fans out there, you just know it's going to be a great time. In addition, we're gearing up for one of our favorite times of year around here. Fall leaves, pumpkin spice, skeleton in the closet 3, survival horror games. And how could we forget Attract Mode is ready for Halloween. Please send in your game showcase pitches for September and October. Give us all the tricks and treats. And check out ladyarcaders.com/start for that handy submit link. So stick around for the raid, and thanks folks for watching. Have a great night. This is Linear Cannon, LinearC, or Plain Old Linear, signing out.